Alright guys, last episode of the slow mode series. We've got the leg workout here. First exercise is going to be a barbell squat. Really popular exercise that a lot of people like to do. For this one, my foot stance is just normal, just shoulder width apart, but you can also do a wide stance, and you can do like put your feet together, closer stance, up to you. The wider stance, you get a bit more of a gluteal exercise, feel it a bit more in there, and also your adductors. They're all really good, depending on your preference. You can do any of the three. So it works. This exercise is kind of an all-around workout. It works a lot of different things. You're working your gluteal muscles, you're working your quads, you're working your hamstrings, you're working your back as well, your lower back and your abs for stabilizing. So it's working a lot of different muscles as well as the adductors. It's a really great exercise that I love to put in on my leg days. And remember about when you're coming back up, nice and slow, really get that good contraction there. Next exercise here, we've got the squat. Pretty much the same thing as the first one, except it's just body weight for this one. So we're doing a close stance, and then we're doing a jump, and then you're going into a wide stance. So this one's really good because you're doing explosive movement as well as the slow resistance for the muscles. So really good exercise. I really like it. Just a couple things to kind of keep in mind when you're doing this exercise. Just make sure that you are keeping your back nice and straight. You don't want to arch your back. You might hurt it a bit, especially if you have back problems. And it's good. What I like to look in the mirror, because I can kind of keep track of where my form is and if I'm putting my feet in a proper spot. So it's just really good to kind of keep track of where you are and how you're doing the exercise. Next exercise, guys, we've got the leg extension. I like to call it the quad killer. Really good exercise for your quads. Really isolates those quadricep muscles. Really big muscles. You want to make sure that you're working those muscles. It's a big part of the leg, your thigh. For this one, you want to make sure that when you're bringing up the weight, extend them fully. You want to make sure you're pulling that weight up all the way so that you're really getting that full contraction in the quadricep muscles. And then when you're bringing it down nice and slow so you get that eccentric contraction. For this one also, what I like to do when I'm doing it, just a little tip, is to hold on. There's handles on each side. Sometimes if you're doing really heavy weights, or maybe not even, if you're just trying to make sure you're really sitting in that proper form, you want to hold on to the handles just so that your body's not flailing all over the place when you're trying to get that weight up. So it's a good little tip for you guys. Next exercise, we've got the lying leg curls. So this one, we're moving on to the hamstrings. It's a really good exercise for your hamstrings. Again, it isolates, or it tries to isolate the muscle there. So for this one, if you wanted to change it up a bit, depending on the placement of your feet, the movement of your feet, you can actually target different muscles. So if you are flexing your feet, so if your toes are pointing up, flex the feet, you're actually going to be working your gastrocnemius a little more, which is one of your calf muscles. And then if you point your toes down, that is actually going to put a little more effort in the hamstrings. So just depending, if you want to change it up a bit, you could change the movement of your feet to better hit certain muscles. Next exercise here, we've got the hack squat. So for this one, I did a bit of a variation. As you know, I like to do concentrated exercises. So for this one, I did it one leg at a time. So I'm concentrating on one quad, and then I'm doing the other. This exercise, mainly quads, is the muscle that is being used. However, the further you put your feet up on the plate at the bottom there, the more you're using your gluteal muscles. So if you wanted to work a little more on your gluteal muscles on this one, you could put your foot a bit higher and you'd be stretching the gluteal muscles a bit more. So this is a really good exercise. I really felt it, especially you only using one leg. Really felt the burn in my quads. It's pretty hard at first. That's why I only have a 45-pound plate on there. Just one. I don't even have one on the other side. It's pretty intense exercise. Then I did a bit of a superset for this one. So I did my single squats, the hack squats, and then now I'm just doing some pulse squats. So I did 10 of those, and that just really made the burn extra special. Next exercise, we are going back to hamstrings. So we've got the straight leg deadlift here. We're working a couple different muscles. We're trying to focus here on the hamstrings. There's also some gluteal movements going on here. So you're working on your gluteus maximus. You're also using your lower back muscles. So you really want to make sure with this one that you are really focusing in on your back, where your back is placed and how your back is placed. So you don't want to arch your back when you're doing this exercise. You want to make sure that your back is nice and straight. You're really making sure that your posture and your form is good. You don't want to put out your back. So smaller weights if you need to make sure that you've got the form right. It's a really good exercise for your hamstrings. You really feel it the next day for sure. I love it, and I'm sure you guys will too. Next exercise, we're moving on to the calves now. So here we've got the seated calf raise. Really good exercise. This one is isolating the soleus. So this muscle is actually underneath. When you look at your calf and you're flexing your calf, those two big bulges that you see, the soleus is actually underneath those two muscles. So it's not as easy to see that muscle. So this one, sometimes maybe you don't really see the effects of this exercise. But it's really good exercise. You want to make sure you're working all the calf muscles. Really powerful muscle. You use it every day when you're walking, you're running, you're lifting your weight, anything like that. Always using it, so don't be afraid to use a good amount of weight for that exercise. The last exercise, guys, is another form of a calf raise. Here I'm lying on the floor using a Smith machine. You're going to put the balls of your feet on the bar. And if you just lift the bar a little, the clips should come out. Then you're going to put your heels nice and high and lift the balls of your feet up to contract your calves. So this one's using all three of the calf muscles. Really good exercise. Gastrocnemius, the medial lateral, and the soleus as well. So that's where you're going to get your bulges with the gastrocnemius. That's what everyone likes to see. And that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this exercise, the leg workout. Awesome workout. I loved making it for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the series. And thanks for watching.